All right, everybody, let's get this show on the road. First, I need thumbs up in the comments if you can hear me because I always manage to screw this part of the video up. So if you can, let me know that you can actually hear me. Or don't say anything, one of the two. If you're new to one of these live chats with me, this is a place where you can pretty much ask whatever you want as far as backpacking. Thank you for the thumbs up. We're good to go. Ask anything you want backpacking. I specifically wanted to keep this chat to mainly for the AT through hikers. Now, what's really weird is ever since 2019, I've been on the Facebook groups, the 2019 AT through hiker groups, then the 2020, and on and on and on. And this was the first year I wasn't actually allowed to join. I actually got denied by the admins. I said I was a pass through hiker and I was just here to help. A little weird, but I'm sure they have their reasons. So kind of missing out on all the through hiker talk. But as a couple people have asked in the chat, um, who am I following this year? This is the first year I'm not actually following anyone the AT. I'm going to shift my focus to following as many people as I can on the Pacific Crest Trail because as most of you know, or maybe some of you don't, I'm attempting to get the permit to hike the PCT in 2024 in March. So let's hope, because man, there's been a lot of preparation since the AT to get on that one, and I would love to do that. Anyway, I see some celebrities. Taylor, the New Hampshire hiker, is in the chat. Hello, how you doing, Taylor? Been a long time since we talked. I'm gonna be up in your area in the summer. Maybe we can get together for a backpacking trip. All right, let's. We got a lot of people in the chat, like 80 people right now. That's crazy. I've never had this many people in the chat immediately before. But let's get into some questions here. So, lone hiker, like I said, guys, I'm not following anybody on the AT, but if you can help lone hiker out with any AT hammockers, throw them down in the chat. Awesome. All right. So if I'm pausing, it's because I'm reading conversation, and the conversation's going by really quickly. So I need to select it and get going. All right. Yes. Hello. 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 All right. Harley trekking. Are hammocks common on the AT? When I went in 2019, they were not very common. I did see, I'd say, a handful of AT hammock campers, but then again, the first part of my hike, I kind of stayed away from people, and then for some reason, I wanted to hang out with everybody. And my group went really early. I started in February 23rd, actually. So we were ahead of the bubble. So I'm probably not a great person to ask about hammocking on as far as hammockers on the AT. I loved it though. I didn't have any problems. If that's what you're wondering though. All right, just watched the video with your stepdaughter the other day, and Dolly saw Rockstar. Yeah, definitely a fun trip with Scarlett. We're planning to do another trip with her. She's like super interested. Thing is, she's in gymnastics on Saturdays, so it's really hard to plan around school right now. But we're gonna get her out on another trip. I think she's going somewhere with that one. She has her next pair of Lone Peaks lined up. All right, got dates for the Pemi Loop yet? So I'm either gonna be up there in, let's see, early June. If not, if I can't make it in early June, I got a lot of trips. I got a lot of trips this year, and I want to make sure I get everything in. It's really going to be dependent on what weekends I can go and the weather. But if the early June date doesn't work out, then I am going to just catch the beginning of fall. Hopefully, like right as the leaves start changing. That'd be really cool to see that. Um, but yeah, maybe September, October. I gotta take a look when all the leaves change. All right, what trails are on my bucket list in Pennsylvania? I honestly really don't have any more bucket list trails in Pennsylvania. I'm gonna be revisiting some of the trails that I did the first couple years of backpacking, things that I felt like I could have got more out. I was struggling early on with just not having the right pair of shoes early on, and that like really caused me to not like certain trails. For instance, the Susquehannock Trail System, I think was a great trail, but my feet were just so mad at me on that trip, and I just kind of want to revisit trails like that. I'm not going to get to the STS this year, probably not at least, but I do want to go back and check out some of the ones that gave me some trouble. All right, Bobby Smith. And hello, hello, all the newcomers. Thank you for joining me tonight. Seriously, thank you guys so much. You keep this channel running and me motivated to get out more. Bobby Smith, is it tough hiking after doing the AT through hike? For me, absolutely. When I got home, I probably did everything wrong. Problem is, when you get done with any kind of through hike, in my opinion, you have the hiker hunger. And I gained probably 15 pounds over the course of 3, 4 weeks when I got home. And I just sat on my butt and looked for jobs. That was not the right thing to do. I mean, I obviously needed to look for a job, but I should have been stretching. I should have been getting out when I could. I locked up. I had knee problems for 10 months following the AT. I had an iron deficiency when I got back. It was diagnosed by a doctor. Um, Pretty much after you're done through hiking, get some blood work done, especially if you're up in the ages like me. I was 35 when I got home. Um, a lot of that could have been avoided, but it's definitely hard from a physical standpoint and even a mental standpoint when you get used to being back home, that mental drive and you doesn't want to conform is probably the wrong word, doesn't want to sit back in society. You can't ease back in very easily, and I had a really hard time with that. My mind always wanders out to the trail because you ask anyone that's done it before that enjoyed it, it's just absolute freedom, and it's really nice. It really, really is nice out there. All right. Wow, 99 days. Very cool. All right, and then yeah, again, who is everyone following? Eeyore, I saw your comment. I don't know. I'm hoping I don't need to fact check this, but this is really sad news if this is an actual thing. And if you guys want to start talking about this, I'll get to it in about 10 minutes here. Um, National parks you can't film in? I feel like that's a freedom of expression, freedom of speech. I'm not sure how they can limit that. Maybe if you have monetary gain, but just don't monetize those videos. How are they? I don't know. I don't see how they can regulate that at all. I mean, this is a digital age. We're we're in 2023. For God's sakes, I don't see how they can do that. Let's hope not, because that's really silly. Uh, Thanks, DB. Did you get okay? Here's another good question. Dave, wow, some good questions already. It's early. All right, Dave Stanko. Did you get to a point on the AT where you thought that you had accomplished what you set out to do and continued on just to finish? Yes, I did. Um, I didn't have any like real expectations going into the trail. I had some hopes and dreams about it. I wanted to kind of fix the the mental issues that were going on with me, the little bit of depression there, a little bit of social anxiety, which I still think I have a little bit, but um, mainly I wanted to gain my trust in humanity again because it was, of course, the recent years it's going back downhill, but I'm trying not to let any of that bother me. But right before, so right before, maybe right after we hit Maine, I realized kind of why I was depressed. I was using a lot of social media things to tell myself, okay, well, this guy's or this girl is at this point in their life, and I'm not there yet, so I must be doing something wrong. And I think it took me a long time to realize that, man, they're just kind of posing for everybody. You know what I mean? They're not. That's not. You shouldn't compare yourself to, especially people on social media. Like, it doesn't matter where you are in life. It just matters what you've done with your life. If you don't like what you've done with your life, go do something else. And that's exactly kind of what I did. So I'd say after I got to Maine, I kind of realized that. It took me long enough, like what, 200 or almost 1900 miles to realize that. So silly. It took me a lot long, but I had to work through all that stuff. And then it was just hiking and hoping my knees would hold up the rest of the way, because Maine is another animal. You get out of the whites, you think you're going to the clear, and then Maine hits you. All right, Karen. Welcome to the chat, Karen. Any tips or tricks for getting comfortable with hitchhiking? No. And the best thing you could do is just make sure you're trusting your instincts. If you can, hike with a group. That definitely kind of eased my mind when I met up with my tramily. We had like 4 or 5 people to start, and then we ended up being like a 7-person crew. And they're back there on that wall. I don't know if you guys can see that or not. A little bit over there, but yeah, it's too far. But anyway, my first hitch wasn't until I believe Virginia. Um, and I got a hitch from a guy playing rock music in an older car, and we had the greatest time. It was the perfect first hitch for me. But if you're seeing or you're feeling something's off, and just say, hey, you know what? Never mind. I got to go back and get something or make up a story. If you don't feel comfortable, don't get in. That's the biggest tip that I can give you. But definitely hike with people. All right. Another Bobby Smith. All right. Where's Bobby Smith? There he is. All right. How did your hiking goals change on the AT? I don't think they really changed. Well, I set out to start slow and then hike as many miles as I could. I was just kind of focused on the hike. But as time progressed, I met people along the way that kind of pushed me out of my comfort zone. We took a 10-mile hitch to get a buffalo chicken sandwich. It's like I would have never ever have done that if it was just me. You know what I mean? That was not something that I was really into. I wasn't down to walk 3 miles to go get a giant donut bigger than my face, or a cinnamon roll or whatever it was. Um, I think when you're through hiking for a while, that becomes your normal, your life, and the business side of things or your everyday life becomes that thing that you look forward to, and you try to separate that. You try to have a little bit of give and take. I hope that makes kind of sense here. um, so my hiking goals were like strictly from hiking to relax, man, you're on vacation kind of thing. So that's kind of how I feel about hiking goals at this point, and I kind of carry that into my backpacking trips now. If I can hike in and get a bite to eat, or if I can enjoy a vista for an hour while I have lunch, then I'll do that instead of just always being in a rush. Okay, talking about trail days. Man, I hope I can make it this year. It depends on when they release it. See, that's a bad time in May. They usually do that, and there's always something going on in May with me, especially with 3 birthdays now. But Tent City. Can a non-through hiker simply drive into Damascus and find a spot for the weekend, or is taking that spot from someone who actually need it? There's plenty of spots in Damascus. There's lots of fields. There's plenty of areas. What I would suggest is, I've never been there before, but I've heard stories from other people. Um, if you're gonna go to trail days, find a trailhead that is like 4 or 5 miles away, north or south of Damascus, and hike in, and then stay there or stay a little bit off trail, off or out of Damascus, excuse me, and then kind of make your way in every morning or night, whatever you want to do. So hopefully that helps. Sorry I couldn't offer more on that one. Like I said, I've never been there. I've been trying to for the past 3 years now, though. All right. All my favorites in one chat. Awesome. All good. Okay. Let me go back up because I jumped. Oh, this green. So I got a new plugin, as you can probably see on the screen. So that's kind of holding my place in line here. What's weird is when I go down on the live chat, it loads the next like 500 comments. So I'm always kind of hunting back and forth. uh, anyway, let's see. Any good tips for a 2024 February AT start? Hmm. Um, it's gonna be cold. You're gonna get wet. Don't be cold. Don't get wet. um, honestly, I think February is a great month to start. You're starting, especially recently. It's a lot warmer than it has been in past years. The coldest night I had, luckily I was inside at the knock. It was -4 wind chill. I think it was like 8 degrees. Just be aware of your closest hostel, and if you need to hike in a couple extra miles, do so. Don't like try to just stick it out. Like, that's not why you're out there. You're out there to survive the whole AT. You're not out there to like freeze to death. If you're not having fun, do something about it, kind of thing. So I always kind of knew where the next road crossing or the next hostel was to go into town if I needed to get out of the snow or the rain in my case. I hiked all the way 23 miles, maybe 20 miles to the NOC from my last camping position because I was completely soaked, and then it had froze. It had snowed so bad, and the temperatures just fell out. It was crazy. All right, that's interesting. So we're going back to talking about the Facebook crew. Yeah, I don't know why. Like they, in my opinion, like if I was starting the AT again, like I looked to those people that had hiked in the past to answer my question. So, Taylor, you're probably going to get a laugh about this, and anybody else that's on the backpacking forums. There are so many people just the number one question on the AT Facebook groups is, "Do I need a bear canister?" And I can just see like just you know what I mean? I could just see like everybody bringing a bear canister because there's not a pass through hiker saying, you really don't need one. Just oh boy, Taylor's probably over there laughing. Yeah, anyway. Too many fire issues on PCT. Kyle hates hiking, had many issues. Yeah, but you know what? I believe he started in May, um, which I'm going to try to start in March. I know the desert and the Sierras will be a little more dangerous at that point. Um, but, I'm pretty sure I can handle the cold. It's just the Sierras that kind of freak me out a little bit, and I'm going to meet people along the way. So I feel like if you start earlier, you can have that hard snowpack in the Sierras, so it's not such an issue, and you don't have to worry too much about fire season, which is May, June, July, August. So I don't know. I totally get why he had so many issues out there. I didn't complete his whole through hike. He actually got off the trail before I could watch the last video, so I just kind of said, um, but yeah, that's my plan. We'll see if it works. And I'll let you know if it was a good decision or not, I guess. All right. My goal in life is to never finish the AT. Takes all the stress out. Well, you could just hike the whole AT, but don't go up to Katahdin. How about that? Or if you're going south, just don't go to Springer. All right. Let's see if you were. If I were to do the AT again, would I hammock or tent? That's a good question. First of all, if I was going to do the AT again, I'd go south because I haven't done that. And I'd probably bring a tent just because I want to set up in the places that I couldn't set up with tents. Like there was a baseball field that we had to pass on, or there was a lake I couldn't set up on the beach. The trees were too grown in. But on the flip side, man, I had some really nice campsites that no one else could have in the tent. Namely, we set up on a lake off of the shore. Me and Marika, we were both in hammocks, and Lucky had to go on to the shelter. He didn't have a place to camp. But man, that was one of the greatest campsites that I've had set up right on the lake. So maybe I'd bring both. Maybe I would bring the hammock for the northern sections and the tent for the southern sections. How about that? All right, up trail. What's going on, Bob? How you been, man? We need to hop on a QA on your channel at some point. Miss talking to you. Did you have any areas on the AT hard to find a water source? No, not at all. I thought like in the whites, you'd think that when you get up on those mountains, there's not water sources, but when we went, there was adequate streams running down the mountains. I probably only carried a liter of water at most, pretty much my whole hike, and I would have like a half a liter on this side of my pack, half a liter on this side, and then at the next water source, I would guzzle a half a liter, fill up a half a liter. It worked out really well. Now, I did have an app called Gut Hook, which is now the Far Out Guides. So make sure you're paying attention for those hikers. Don't just like take 1 liter of water. If there's no water on your path, keep in mind I was averaging 17 miles a day with my zeros, with my time off trail, going to Boston and such. That I was hiking through enough streams. So but hike your own hike. as lame as that sounds, and definitely look at Gut Hook for your next stream. Hey, we got Murica in the channel. What's up, Tom? You never responded to my Harry Potter picture I sent you. My wife wanted me to send him some kind of Harry Potter reference. I didn't get it, but he's a big Harry Potter fan. How's that Evolved Ranger pack working for you? Actually, you guys are going to see the first look video. I was supposed to release it today, but I decided it would probably take away from this chat. So release it tomorrow. I got another couple videos down the line. The goal is to actually make content this year. So I apologize for last year. It was too much. It was way too much with the baby. But we're doing good. The Evolved pack, there's some issues with it, but Darwin, like I thought, has been so receptive to making changes to it. And I'm going to pin the comment when you guys see that video to the top of the video, just so you can see what we kind of been working on. We've been going back and forth with him over Instagram, right? I won't show you all the text there, but back and forth, making changes here, making changes there. And I think he's got a good product here for definitely people that, are environmentally conscious. It's a completely recycled pack, like made of like water bottles. Like I think the next version, not to give too much away, is going to be really, really awesome. All right, Craig Fry, have I hiked Roaring Plains just south of the Dolly Sods? Much less people. That's where I think that I was going to take Scarlett, my stepdaughter. We're going to see. She really enjoyed the Dolly Sods, really enjoyed Lion's Head. So if we can like take her to the same kind of scenery, I think she'd have a really good time. Another option is she's been kind of pulling at me to get her on the Virginia Triple Crown, so might do that with her. Just depends what she wants to do and the timing and the weather. But no, I personally haven't been to Roaring Plains yet. All right, Kingdom Awesome. Awesome, I love your name. Hiking the AT next couple years, going to start at the end of February. What temps? All right, so we kind of got into that. I saw temps all the way from 70 degrees Fahrenheit all the way down to 8 degrees Fahrenheit. So it's a big stretch. That 8 degree only happened one time, and I managed to make it into the NOC before things got a little dangerous. I probably could have did it, but I would be wearing all my hiking clothes, all my sleeping clothes, all my socks, like just all the jackets, the puffy, the hoodies. It wouldn't have been a good night. It wouldn't have. But I brought a 20-degree quilt. I was comfy with that the whole way up. And then I switched over to a 40-degree quilt in Virginia. The wind is a big killer. I just want to go back to this comment just so I'm not missing anything from Kingdom Awesome. If you're in a hammock and you're worried about the temperatures, grab yourself an underquilt protector. If you're in a tent, make sure you have enough blockage from your shelter to block out the wind. Oh, that's so cool. You live up by Taylor, DB. That's awesome. Any Ozarks plans? Nope, not yet. Maybe one day. Mid-State Trail. I haven't done enough research on it. I know it's around me. I know it's a pretty cool trail. Don't know much about it. We got enough planned for this year, but I will definitely look into that. All right. Susquehanna is a great safety word for sure. Let's see. I know, right? Up in age at 35. I'm going to be 40 this year, guys. How about that? That's crazy. My mom was like, wait a minute, you're going to be 40? I'm like, yeah. What's everybody having to drink tonight? I'm drinking a vintage Vela Merlot. Or is this Franzia? Can't remember. Definitely top quality, though. Someone called me fancy on Instagram one day, and I replied to them with that wine in a we just had a birthday party for Scarlett, and she was real into unicorns. That wine in a unicorn Dixie cup. I was like, yeah, I'm real fancy, man, for sure. All right. What shoes are you wearing this year? I am wearing the Lone Peak. No, I'm not wearing Lone Peaks. I actually gave up on Lone Peaks, and I'm having a lot of success with the Topo Athletic TerraVenture 3s. Done 2 hikes with those, just day hikes, and my feet have been absolutely perfect. So it's promising. I'm not going to recommend them yet until they're out for, 60, 70 mile trip, which is coming up hopefully soon here. Um, but I'm like pumped. It's so hard for me to find shoes that work for me. I'm really confident that these Topo Athletics are going to be good. All right. What age did you have the passion to start backpacking? This channel's about 8 years now. I bought my car in 2014. The end of 20, no, actually the beginning. Yeah, the beginning of 2014. My buddy got me into backpacking. He was a Eagle Scout, brought me out on a winter trip. Ended up loving it. Ended up getting real into it, and been just doing it ever since. Now, me and my brother, when we were kids, we used to go out behind our house in the woods and, just go to the forest. We called it, there was this little area called the dark forest. It was real creepy in there. And like, we kind of like made goofy shelters that wouldn't have kept you dry for anything. But that's kind of when I really fell in love with being outside in the woods. Didn't really make anything of it until after I was done with video games in 2014, though. Hey, Flowers, what's going on? All right, are you going to do a beginner backpacking meetup in ANF? I'm looking forward to backpacking Tracy Ridge. Tracy Ridge is an awesome area. We did that in the winter, and just down by the reservoir. It was just so wonderful. Currently, I'm not planning a meetup, though I really should. This channel has just gotten really big for, just hey, let's all meet up in this one place. I want to respect Leave No Trace. I don't want to you know, maybe if we can space it out over a couple days, I'd definitely be all about it. Um, but nothing planned yet. All right, Cranberry Lake 50 again, or anything in the 80Ks. That might be. I might do Cranberry Lake again. Like I said, I do have like a full itinerary of things I want to hit up this year. If you want to know all the specifics, check my channel update from a couple weeks ago. Everything's in there. But possibly. Okay, so going back to the national park vlogging things, you can't use drones, but cameras should be okay. I agree with that. So drones, I have a big problem with, um, just because like everybody has them now. They're cheap, they're available, but they're so loud and obnoxious and annoying. And I could just see people like, especially these days, kids just running into other people or other drones, or just getting too close to wildlife and just doing something stupid. I sound like an old man. um, but yeah, I don't think as cool as the footage is. I give it that, but I think drones should definitely stay out of national parks. Oh, cool. Bartram Outdoors is hiking now, and then Laura Evans actually starts this month. All right, cool. We're getting some suggestions down in the comments. Awesome. I'm probably way behind you guys, so apologize. I'm just going to do a quick check of the stream here to make sure we're not doing anything silly. But everything looks good. We've got 71 people. No, 100. Holy cow, 132 people concurrent in the stream right now. Awesome. Well, welcome everybody new that I've kind of ignored so far. We're just going down in the comments here. All right, been wanting to section hike part of the AT. What would be your choice to section hike? Anywhere in Maine, that's a given. Three Ridges was really cool. I couldn't tell you where that is. Just research, just Google Three Ridges. It'll come up. Kind of all the states kind of meld together in my mind at this point. I never knew really exactly where I was or what town I was going to next. It's just more fun that way. Yeah, definitely Three Ridges. That was a super cool place. And then there's the Smoky section. I wouldn't really recommend that, but it's cool to actually do that whole section. So hopefully you can take some of that. I would do all of Maine though. Maine was just go to Maine, especially near the 2,000 mile mark. Wow, is that place gorgeous? They want you to pay a fee to film there. Wow. Yep, it's all about a money grab. I get it. That's how the world runs. All right. And again, guys, if you hear me being quiet, just because I'm reading a very large page of text. All right. If you live in one town, what town? If I live in one town along the AT, which town would you choose? That's a good question. Probably around Damascus. That area is really nice too. Beautiful, beautiful scenery. And near the Shenandoahs too. That's another good one. Um, Anywhere but the Pennsylvania section. How about that? I hated the Pennsylvania section. Yeah, and you know what? It's funny you mentioned that. So I'm, obviously having a little glass of wine tonight, but rarely do I drink anymore. Before the AT, man, I was doing the same thing, drinking out of boredom, and it got a little out of hand. But I'm glad you're going into the woods to fight the issue. All right. Go back up. I see some super chats, guys. We'll get to them in just a second. I see lots of super chats, guys. Thank you. We'll get to them in just a second. I'm about 20 lines above you. Thank you so much, though. And that's not necessary, guys. I'm good. We're really close to that goal for the PCT. But, it's always appreciated. All right. Commercial filming. Yep. Yeah, that's what I figured. Yeah. Giant donut. Dude, this thing. Murica can vouch. I have a picture of him holding up. It was a cinnamon roll, actually, come to think of it. He had holding it up to his face. It was bigger than his head. It was like this big. It was crazy. All right. Morgan Lambert. Hi, Frozen. I'm hiking the AT this year. Is wondering if there's anywhere that I absolutely do not want to miss along the trail, and or is there anywhere you wish you would have stopped? Don't miss the McAfee, Tinker, Dragon's Tooth area. That's in Virginia. I think that's near like mile 900. Nah, maybe not. That's a beautiful area. Three Ridges, like I said. Man, there's just so many. There's so many good sections. I will say there's some parts in Pennsylvania that don't beat yourself up if you miss it. See, the thing with me is I'm a what do they call it? Where you have to see every single blaze. Like I even went. I was in a field and I didn't follow exactly the trail, so I walked not a quarter, like an eighth of a mile back around just so I could move over 300 feet and get to the actual trail. I forget what it's called. Ridiculous. There wasn't any particular place that I would have stopped that I'd still recommend. Back when I did it, I really liked Station 19, but I don't know if they're under new management or even if they're hosting hikers anymore. I saw something about that. They had this really cool program where people could like send Trail Magic. They could send a Trail Magic beer and buy a beer or a meal or a bunk, I believe it was, to the hostel. So when an AT through hiker got there, like when I got there, they handed me a beer. I was like, here, this is from so and so. I'm like, oh, that's just so cool. I want to do that next year. And I've been doing it every year since. But last year when I did it, I didn't get any notification that anyone got my beer. So I'm assuming that, or my bunk or whatever. I think I got a beer and a bunk. So, yeah, if Station 19 is open and under the same management, I would say stop there. It's a really cool place. But if not, maybe Mountain Harbor. Okay, so they do have the trail days, 19th through the 21st. I'm gonna have to check on that. I might be able to be down there, and that'd be so cool. I've seriously been trying to get out there for years now, and there's something always pops up. All right. I struggle with stopping for breaks or a longer lunch. Do you ever have issues restarting after a break? Absolutely. I think we all have issues stopping after a break. You get your muscles get cold. They get cooled down. And the way that I try to combat that is eat standing up. You could try that if you need to rest your feet. Put your. I'd show you if I didn't have this table in front of me, but put your kind of like put your leg on your knee or on your shin, not shin, thigh, and then kind of like push down on it, do that stretch, and just keep alternating back and forth. Bounce your leg a little bit, just kind of do some stretches. You know what I mean, while you're eating. Hike your own hike. Yeah, I've seen you in the comments a lot, man. Appreciate you. Thank you. All right. How tough was the 100-mile wilderness in Maine? Honestly, the 100-mile wilderness is not that difficult. There are a lot of roots and some rocks there, but nothing that's like absolutely crazy. I think a lot of people, so there's a lot of fear mongering for the 100-mile, and I don't know why. What I would recommend is there is Shaw's Hiker Hostel literally right before you get to the 100-mile wilderness. Stop there, rest up, make sure you're good to go, make sure you have enough food. Um, they do have a resupply at that hostel, or you could just walk a couple blocks and there's several stores, several places to eat down there. And just make sure you have enough food. Like when you get there, it's like, people have died because they didn't bring 10 days of food. And my crew's looking at each other like, 10 days of food? That's like 10, like, that's not a lot of miles a day. And we were fine. We were in and out in 5 days, I think. Um, but there wasn't anything like necessarily hard about it. There was one difficult stream crossing when we went, but that was my own fault because I took my shoes off, ended up slipping on a rock, and I went just belly up, just got soaked. My trekking pole started floating down the stream. It was bad, but if I would have just had my shoes on and just held on to the rope that was right there, I would have been perfectly fine. So don't worry about it. Links, thank you so much for the super chat, buddy. Appreciate it. What do you think about nesting quilts for an early nesting quilts for an early start? Nesting a summer with a 3-season quilt, for example. Yeah, you can do that. That shouldn't be a big deal, especially if you already have them. It's something less that you have to buy. As long as your backpack can hold the volume, I'd say go for it. You stack I call it stacking, but nesting's a way better word. If you nest a 40 and like a 50, you have a 25 or a 30. So yeah, I think that's great. Go for it. Here's a good question. This is gonna stir the pot with me a little bit. All right, so I'm curious. Did you ever jump back into an IT role, and if so, are you happier with it than your previous position prior to the AT? So, I'm in IT is like information technology for this. That I've been living under a rock for a while. Um, I was a phone network systems and project manager administrator at my previous job. I am still all those now, a little less networking now, but more focused on the systems administration side. But I've also been promoted to a manager of the sysadmin department, which has been uh, interesting to say the least. There wasn't any documentation when I got there. It's just like everywhere else, though. No processes, so I've done all that. Um, but my previous position said that they were going to hire me back and then ended up dragging their feet. And I had so much confidence when I got back from the AT. I felt like I could do anything. So I got a job that paid like tons more money. And I just kept getting promoted. And uh, unfortunately, around the same time that the PCT through hike starts, that position will probably end because they're moving into like a web-based product, which I don't really do. I'm more of a computer server admin, and don't want to get into the web administration stuff unless it's like a VMware thing. I'm going way off topic, but I am actually looking to get out of the level of IT that I'm in. I'm at the senior level right now, and it's just constant stress, and it's not worth it to me. So I'm gonna look into going down a role a little bit, back a few years, even if it turns into like less of a pay grade. It's better for me because of the long term stress and issues that stress causes. I still love IT. Just it's it's too much responsibility for one person, and that's kind of what it is at my place. So hopefully that answers your question, Matt. All right. Let's see. Links. Links again. Thank you so much, man. I appreciate it. All right, we're gonna jump again. So let's just jump. Okay, there we go. All right. Chameleon. Danny, how do you have you tried and I'm not trying to get you to switch. I'm genuinely curious because I've laid in a chameleon once. And it felt like a war bonnet blackbird, so I never went further because I already had it. Um and a lot of those features like a sidecar, they kind of share the same deal with the blackbird. But how do you like it over something that's more slimmed down like a dream hammock if you've ever laid in it? Just let me know. I'll get to you in like 20 minutes or something. All right. Question here. Did you see any garbage at different campsites? Yeah, unfortunately, there's garbage all over the place. It wasn't that bad when I went uh, early before the bubble, but I can imagine, we have the bubble, we have the section hikers, we have the backpackers, just all that together, I just think would make it ridiculous. What through hikers did though, and I thought this was really cool, um, pick up one piece of trash a day, put it in your fanny pack, backpack, garbage bag, and then throw it out when you get to town. If every through hiker does that every day, you would technically, because let me back up. So there isn't a single person in this chat that has gone backpacking that hasn't littered inadvertently. And if you think that you haven't littered, I call BS because everybody drops that occasional candy wrapper or oatmeal packet or they forget to leave it, and it's that garbage that you're cleaning up after. There's that kind of garbage, and then there's garbage that just is blatantly left at a campsite, right? And that's the really hard part to clean up, especially if it's not burnable, like glass beer bottles, for instance. But if everybody picks up after the guy in front of or the girl in front of you, I think the trail will just remain beautiful, and we wouldn't need all these volunteers to go on week-long excursions picking up trash. So hopefully that answers your question. All right, we touched on the 100-mile already. If you want me to elaborate, Stephen, just let me know and I'll get back to you. Thanks, Danny K. I appreciate it, man. Let's see. Haven't had a live stream. Well, we'll do it again. Okay, Virginia. Okay, all right. This has been asked a couple times, and I'll say it again from Gunter. Can we get a Frozen and Syntax collaboration hike? I would love to. The guy's my idol. I don't have any problem with him. I think he's a great backpacker. He knows his stuff. I think he would be so much fun. Um, but I don't want to be that guy that's like, hey, I'm a random YouTuber that you probably never heard of. Do you want to hike together? Like, it's so weird. And I kind of get asked that a lot too. And so I get it. I just can't do that to him. You know what I mean? Um, I will leave that up to you guys. If you guys want to see it, you can definitely make it happen. Just spam the comment section on both of our channels, and I'm sure it would happen at some point. I'd be happy to email him if he does have an interest, though. I think that would be really cool, though, wouldn't it? All right, Dearless. Yes, yes. I'm so glad to hear that. Gonna start the AT in mid-Feb 25. That's so awesome, man. Oh, I'm pumped for you, dude. It's gonna be great. All right. No, not a delirium. I haven't had a delirium. It's too expensive. It's like $80 now with inflation because it's an import. So I ain't about to spend $80 on a case of beer. 40, 50, fine. 80, I draw the line at 60. You know what I mean? Delirium Tremonds is my favorite beer for those confused. All right. Yingling. It's not really a beer, is it? No, I'm just kidding. All right, good call on the topos. Destroyed topos, rock. Okay, wow, I'm really behind. Sorry, guys. I'll try to speed this up a little bit. Let's see. Hope to see you at Oil Creek sometime. Definitely, I'm going up there soon. I'm ready. I'm literally ready to do the 2-day trip up there. knock out that 36. Wow, Spaguyver's in here and everything. What's up, Mark? How you doing, man? I can never keep track of where Spaguyver's living. He seems to pick up a move like every 3 months. uh, if I miss your comment, guys, I apologize. Just repost it. It's nothing personal. There's a lot of text on the screen. Okay, guys. All right, we're talking about Three Bridges here. Hey, Greg, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining the chat. I do see ya. Greg's one of the nicest people I've ever met on the AT, by the way. He actually picked me up in Shenandoah and let me stay in his guest bedroom and fed me, I think, steak, right? Right, Greg? It was awesome. He had a ton of cherry Coke waiting for me too. It's like those moments on the AT that you really treasure. I'm so pumped for you AT23 through hikers. Spaguyver, whenever you want, man, just let me know. Let me know where you live too now. All right. Have I ever done or plan to do any challenge hikes like the Rachel Carson or the Baker Trail? I was gonna do it, the Rachel Carson that is, but just something always came up. So, excuse me. I don't know if purist. Yes, thank you, Gunther. I was like naturist. No, I'm not naked in the woods. We'll get to his comment. I couldn't think of the name where you go from blaze to blaze and like you have to do it. It's like a OCD thing. But no, I was gonna do it, but then just something popped up, and then I got sidetracked, and I forgot about it a year. But we'll get it done at some point. I don't know, man. Trails Days looks like a blast. It really does. There's so many like YouTube celebrity cool people chill down there, and I really want to meet Ivy Tat. He's like one of my he's become my favorite photographer. He's just amazing. All right. Eeyore says only 12 likes. We can do better than that. I don't really care about the likes. The likes apparently increase the algorithm thing, but I don't care. I just like doing this for you guys. It's not a full-time job. It's not making much money. It took me 5 years to save up for the PCT on here. It's nice to have like gas money, but I don't care about the likes, guys. Mississippi Bulldog. Family's doing great. Really good. Um, yeah. We're all doing well. We could use for a little bit more sleep. Logan's waking up in the middle of the night again, but we'll get it. All right. Let's see. I just finished the Laurel Highlands Trail, planning to do AT. Oh, cool. Wondering how the terrain elevation changes on the. Uh, yeah. So the Laurel Highlands Trail, Adam. Um, think the Ohio Pile section. That's the AT. If you really want to get a good feel for what the AT has in store for you, there's a trail called the Foothills Trail down on the border of South and North Carolina. That's as close as I've seen in my hikes to the AT, especially the Georgia section. But whole nother beast, Adam. I'm telling you, don't underestimate it. All right, Derek. Hey man, just wanted to say I've been watching you since I had a few thousand subs. Oh, thanks, Derek. I really appreciate that comment, man. Thank you. That's awesome. That was a long time ago. Yes, Jason M gets it. I do agree. Cloud is such a waste of. I get why they want to do it, and I'm probably boring the backpackers to death, but the IT people will understand. Just put your servers back in your freaking house. Like, oh my gosh. Though it's just a matter of time before those stacks just fail. Like the other day, somebody plugged in the wrong cable at Microsoft and caused Teams to go out to like I don't know 300,000 different tenants, different clients. Come on, man. It's just another excuse to hire cheap labor. That's all. Anyway, back to topics. Yeah, all the hammock folks at HangCon. That was down south in Florida, was it not, Eeyore? I'll come back. All right, fellow IT guy with directory of infrastructure. Phew. Maybe that's where I need to go. Maybe I need to become a director of IT because I have enough knowledge to understand what the people under me are talking about. And I feel like most directors of IT don't know what they're talking about. Yeah, maybe I'll look into that. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Uh, oh man, it's wow. That time flew, guys. It's almost 9 o'clock. I'll keep going. I'll go till whenever, guys. I don't care. Might need a refill, but as long as this is helping somebody, I can keep going. All right, let's see. I wish there was a way to flag questions, like with a question mark or something. Let's see. And it jumped again. Sorry. Thanks, Melody. Appreciate it very, very much. Sorry, guys. Still going down through comments. Way better than Kyle. Kyle's fun. I've been on a couple of his, though I hate his thumbnails. I'll be honest. I can't stand. People click them though, so I guess he's doing the right thing. I just can't. I can't. I had that one with the light AF thing recently. I felt bad doing it too, but like I got to change, or else I'm not gonna get any views, and like I'm not gonna be able to help people, you know. So but yeah, he's got some real cringy thumbnails, but he's got decent content. If you can get past him talking about his mom all the time, or my mom, I guess. I don't know. The people that watch him know what I mean. All right. I agree. Dutchware, talking about Dutchware gear. He's a hammock and accessory manufacturer. Okay. Next big ticket hammock gear, Dyneema with doors. So, well, you get what you want, Danny. So I will say that I felt like my hammock gear tarp with doors on the AT was not adequate for the amount of wind that I experienced. I would suggest possibly looking into Z packs since they're a little bit wider, unless hammock gear has changed the width of their tarps. Just want to throw that out there to you. Don't want to have you make a purchase and then later regret it, kind of like I did. All right, very cool story. Done other big hikes. The only other big hike, and I'm gonna classify big hike as anything over like we're just gonna say 2 weeks for this one. I did a 240, 50 something mile hike in Minnesota on the Superior Hiking Trail. Didn't finish the whole thing, but we section hiked most of the good stuff. Um, that was before I really even kind of classified through hiking. I thought like through hiking was just hiking a long time, but completing a trail, I guess technically. All right. What do I think of hyperlight backpacks? Hyperlight backpacks, I think, are a little overpriced. To be honest with you, they're always at the high end of the scale. Um, if you like look at like Light AF or Waymark or any custom pack vendor Z packs, their hyperlight is always in like the highest like $300 range that you can get. And they're using the same materials, everybody. They definitely know what they're doing. They're now in some stores. But nothing against them. They're good packs. They last. One of my friends from my Tramley, Farmer, he carried a hyperlight the whole way, lasted him a whole through hike. So can't beat that, right? Now, as far as outdoor vitals, I have been sent gear from Outdoor Vitals. Specifically, they had this underquilt. What the heck was it? The Airy. I don't know if they still make it. I did not think the quality on that was very good. Now this was several years ago. I ended up giving it away on Patreon just to see if somebody could use it. But they're making budget gear, and if the budget gear is lasting, then absolutely. It's just I had a bad experience with them, and then when I tried to work with them on it, they were like totally stopped talking to me. It's like I always say in the videos that, if you look in the bottom, you can send me gear, but then I'm going to tell you my honest opinion. It doesn't guarantee a good review. And I think that's kind of what they were expecting over there. Now, maybe they've changed. I don't know. I know they've gotten bigger. I know people use them. Syntax uses them all the time. He goes on hikes with them. Um, but I think a good vendor is someone that puts out a good product or what they think is a good product, sends it out to people for testing, and then listens to the feedback from the test. That's what I look for in a good vendor. We use the example Darwin from the Evolve Supply Company. There's some things I don't like about that pack, but within 3 days of me trying it out and telling him, he's already changing them. So good company. We'll see. We'll see what it looks like. So just want to throw that out there, Steven. All right. Have you ever used a hammock mesh sleeve for under or in top quilts? No, I have not, actually. How does that work? I'm going to have to look that one up. I didn't even know that was a thing. Is Dyneema the future? No, Ultra is, I think. I don't know. So Ultra is really close to beating Dyneema, but they got to bridge the gap between the Ultra 200 and the 2.92 ounce Dyneema. It is a little heavier. It's a little stronger though too, well, a lot stronger. But they need to make a material that will compete. Maybe they have it. I'm just not up to speed on it yet. They need to make a fabric that is up to speed on the tent material. Like if you get a duplex, for instance, there's nothing that Ultra or that Challenge Sailcloth makes, to my knowledge, that can compete with that Dyneema fabric. And that's what I'd really like to see. Once they do that, then DCF needs to look out. All right, baby gates. After you finish, did you get hit with the, well, now what feeling where all subsequent hikes feel insignificant and not challenging? A little bit, I'll be honest, a little bit. But then that was like that for like, I don't know, a year. And then I started to really fall back in love with just being outside and, getting the good feels out there. You know what I mean? It's not about the location necessarily. It's about, just so maybe I could say it a different way. So boredom. There's a lot of things in the world today that occupy your mind. Your phone, your TV, the job, computer. It's not until you get bored that, or at least for me, that I have the most creative ideas that I've ever thought of. Like I have come up with some crazy side things, crazy side hobbies that I've wanted to get into. And those, like, you'd be looking at, some fog in the forest and you take out your phone and you're like trying to get this shot to line up perfectly with what you're kind of envisioning the shot would look like. And you spend like 4 days trying to edit it just perfectly like that. Those kind of ideas, those kind of things, or making you realize something about yourself that, hey, I'm doing this wrong, or I could do this a little better. And that's why I go out hiking. It's not really about the trail or how challenging something is. And I think that honestly stemmed from me figuring out a lot of stuff on the AT. But there for sure was a definite time that, yeah, not the AT. You know what I mean? All right. Any good places to stay in Maryland? Like I said before, everything kind of like runs in. Definitely get the Far Out Guide, Guthook app, whatever you want to call it. Look in the comments in that section of the state. Um, they'll know. The people will comment on the locations and say, "Hey, this was a great place. There's this and this and this to do, and if you go here, then you can go there and check that out." That's going to be a better resource than me for that question, man. Sorry about that. All right, all right, all right. You have any plans to go back to Red River Gorge? Probably not yet. I do need to check out things like the Indian Staircase and some of the hidden stuff, the hidden gems that they have. But I've been to Hanson's Point, I don't know, 6 times or so. I just haven't filmed it. Sometimes I do go out on trips without you guys. I just don't tell you or film it. It's I don't want it to get monotonous or boring filming the same thing. But you know, I'll go with another friend or somebody will ask to hit me up, and I'll go with them. And you know, there's a couple things in Red River Gorge that I still want to do. So at some point. Yeah, Foothills Trail is awesome. It really is cool. Um, which way to hike? I can't remember. Hike at the. I have a video on it. Hike at the opposite way of what we did for sure. Wow, wow, wow! I thought we were almost at the end of this, but we're still going. All right, a couple more minutes here, guys. I think we're good for maybe 15 or so. All right, AI in the future, make no mistakes. Yeah, I know that Chat GPT thing. I just signed up for it. It is I want to say amazing, but it's more scary than amazing. Like the fact that it's writing like college papers now and like starting to program. Where are we going, guys? Oh my goodness. Yeah, yeah. So I get this. So referencing Minister Creek, lots of beer cans, scenic overlooks, out of reach, unfortunately. Yeah. There was a trail in Ohio, Lake Vesuvius, I believe. I've never seen so much trash in my entire life. I filled up. So I usually like use some like we keep like stuff that you put in the freezer like ground beef or whatever. We split the ground beef up, put it in like a Ziploc bag. I use that again as my trash bag, so I'm not being totally wasteful. I filled up a whole gallon one of those in 3 quart-sized Ziploc bags full of garbage on there, and I feel like I didn't even make a dent in that place. Now it's a beautiful place, but it's too accessible um, along the lake. And there's I get you. There's just crap everywhere, and it's a shame. And that's a big shame. How many miles a day do you think for a 65-year-old Bobby? I always say start out with 4. If you can do more, do 8. Call it a day. Do 8 again. If you think you can do more than 8, do 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 25, and then on up like that. That's what I did. Um, it's hard to say, man. It's everybody's different. Everybody has foot issues. You know what I mean? Everybody has some kind of physical thing that they find out later when they do too many miles, and that's when it's too late. So keep yourself 4 miles under your max mileage. Oh yeah, questions can be put in all caps. Yeah, that might help. But then everybody's yelling at me, so I don't know about that. I'd be. Yeah, yeah. Kyle. So I knew him before I watched his videos for Kyle Hates Hiking. Um, I was on a podcast with him before, so I kind of got to know him before. And then he had me back on. I started watching his videos. I was like, all right, this guy's wow, he's really annoying. Okay, this is good. He's really annoying, but he makes it work. It's his style. All right, how are Togs, Lucky, FreshGrounds, and the rest of the crew? They are doing very well. And let me get over here real quick, just so I can show this off. I don't know if you guys have ever seen this before. This is the crew, the tramley from the AT. We got from this side over Farmer, Catmandu, America, Lucky Togs, me, and then Resident Daddy on this side right here. This was a wedding gift that they gave me and Chrissy. They all signed it and wrote their little things down for us. But these guys are doing great. Um, Lucky and Togs are out in Australia. They have a baby together. They got married, and it's man. If you guys knew Togs personally, what a great story. I won't go into her story. That's her thing to tell. Um, I think she's actually on YouTube, Togs Hikes, and she tells a pretty good story on there. I'll put that in the comments when we're done with the chat. But everybody's doing really well, and everybody appreciates you asking. Thank you. Okay. Oh, as far as FreshGround, just ground, no grounds. I actually made that mistake too. He's doing really good this season. His donation rate is just out of control. And for those that don't know him, he is a trail angel that we met on the AT. I knew about him in past through hiker videos, but he like he's like a traveling restaurant, right? And he gives you the exact food that you're craving. I don't know how he does it, but like grilled, like I could sit there and like eat his breakfast pancakes, the banana pancakes, just all day long. They're so good. Just having that extra edge on the trail really helped push us through when we really got tired up in the White Mountains in Maine and sections of Vermont. But he's doing real well. I'll also leave um, a link to his uh, way to get a hold of him through PayPal. Um, the reason why I support his donation based stuff is because I know the guy personally. He is a great human being, a great individual, and basically he acts as a person that does the trail magic if you can't or live or don't live near the trail to do the trail magic. Like say you want to get out and cook for people, you can just donate to him, and he has this whole system. It's crazy how far he started in his car. He has a van now and has like solar panels and stuff and like charging station. He's everything that a through hiker needs at some point on the trail. Going back to Kyle. That's awesome. Uh oh. Yeah. Yeah, I get it. I get it, Spaguyver. For sure. Hmm. I'm still rocking the light AF tarp. And man, I know a lot of you guys were asking, ladies too, we're asking when Light AF's gonna make that tarp again. He's I don't know what he wants me to tell you or not, but he's got something in the works. I'm not allowed to talk about it. No, I don't think he's here. Or is he here? No, he's not here. Yep. I love it. I absolutely love my Light AF tarp. I really hope he re-releases it. I am not watching anybody that's vlogging, but Jeremy, if you scroll up through the chat, there are several recommendations up there. All right. Yeah, we got some Hyperlight fans in here too. All right, I'm gonna show this comment. Yep. I'll just let the comments speak to themselves. I already gave my opinion on Outdoor Vitals. It's not really the quality, it's the are you gonna listen to feedback that gets me. Um, do, do, do. All right. Just got an email from Hammock or from HMG. Sign between Hammock and Gossamer. Um, Either one. Togs actually had a Gossamer tent that lasted the whole trip. I think she actually had it at a Gossamer pack too. She's one of the people that I hiked with, that I met on the trail and hiked with, and it lasted the whole way. So either one, whatever you want to spend the money on. I know Hyperlight's gonna be a little bit more because they're DCF, or maybe they're Ultra now. I don't even know. Oh, cool. Well, thank you for wishing me luck. Yeah, maybe I'm making too big a deal out of this permit thing. I don't know. I'm so like when you save up for something for 5 years, you're just like, man, you're just praying to the gods that you want the permit. You know what I mean? I just I just feel like they're gonna be like, nope, denied. We don't like you or something. I don't know. I'm being weird. I want it that bad is my issue. All right, watch your Superior Hiking Trail video to help prep for the SHT through hike in 2020. That's awesome. I had such a good time on there. I want to do the rest. Just get it done. I'd do it again too. That was definitely a great experience. So hopefully, I forget who asked about Outdoor Vitals. Hopefully, I'm highlighting the comments so you can see them on the video. But sounds like people were kind of agreeing with my little thing on them. All right, I'm gonna start speeding up because it is 9:15, guys. I want to be respectful for everybody's time. All right. Well, I just spent the extra one. All right. What do you need to film a hike, edit, and put on YouTube? Honestly, you can do it on your phone. You can use Cyberlink Power Director for free. You have a little watermark that's really annoying. Um, but you can do everything for free. Just everybody usually has a phone, right? Turn that. Make sure you're using the back camera though. Back camera has stabilization. Front camera does not. So for any of you vloggers out there, um, little tip for you. A lot of people don't know that. They like, and then you have that little stare, little eye thing where you're like this. You're staring at you on the screen. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I catch myself doing that all the time. All right, let's see. Let's go Pens. Yeah. Did you hear that Mark Madden is saying to trade Jake Gensel for a better return? Like what? I usually agree with Madden, but wow, just stop talking, dude. Yeah, I used the Pixel 3, and now I'm on the Pixel 5. When I hike the PCT, hopefully the Pixel, what are they on, 7, 8? Whatever the Pro one is, because I'm going to need to, it's going to be in 4K, baby. We're going to be ready for it. Yeah, traveling chef. That's exactly it. But he's more than that. He like, I don't know, he's just more. I don't know how to explain it, man. All right, I'm in my research phase currently for the AT. How do most people resupply once they get into the whites and into Maine? Um, So those are the two tricky states to resupply in. Now, um, there are a lot of shuttles in those areas that do pick you up. You just have to read the far out. Um, losing my train of thought. The far out guides. I hate calling it that. It's Gut Hook, guys. Come on, it's Gut Hook. You just have to use the Far Out Guides app, and they'll tell you how to get in contact. I'm sure that's in the AWOL guide too. I had the AWOL guide as a PDF on my phone, so I didn't have to carry the actual book, and it weighs nothing. It just made more sense. And if you get the PDF guide, you can actually call these shuttles by just tapping on the PDF number in your phone. So it really made a lot of sense for me just to get the PDF. I have the book somewhere. I don't know where it is now at this point. It's probably in my little everything bin. We'll take you on a tour in a couple weeks of what's behind me, and maybe we'll find it. Gossamer gear packs, like I said, Togs, I believe, used one the whole way up. Didn't have any problems. Uh, I want to say she had the Kumo. I could be wrong about that though. But Gossamer's a good company. No problems with them. Good ER. We want another FreshGround as well. All right, we're getting close to the bottom, guys. What was the highest peak you've bagged? Klingman's Dome. That's actually the highest point on the AT. But if we're talking about sheer elevation, climb Mount Washington. That was about it. Okay, now here is someone that uses OV, Outdoor Vitals, and has good results. I used, Steven, the Puffy. It's actually right here. Let me just grab it for you. It is, I can't remember the name. It's a Montbell. Of course, it doesn't have the thing on it. Let me see. Hold on. I don't know. Montbell something. Um, this was my winter coat, and I'll put it down in the chat once I actually realize what the heck I'm doing. It's probably also in my gear list. But the Montbell was good. It was cheap. It was like 150, 160 bucks when I got it on sale during a Black Friday thing. Now I paired that with a Melanzana microgrid hoodie and some Smartwool 200 base layers. And then I didn't have a Puffy after Virginia. I decided because it was so wet and rainy and foggy all the time on the AT, it actually makes more sense. It's a little bit heavier, but it makes more sense to not carry a Puffy and carry something that's synthetic. I would specifically point you into the Appalachian Gear Company. They make some great hoodies. If you can't get a Melanzana microgrid, I know they're like all the rage these days still, but it's just a hoodie, guys. I got it from the website. I just ordered it like a normal person before they got crazy popular. And then every once in a while on Instagram, you can like do a lottery thing where you can get some. You can get like a voucher for 2 or 3 of them. So me and my wife, collectively between us, we have like I don't know 7 Melanzanas. So I should have one for the rest of my life. I'm still using the blue one. If you guys remember that one, I'm still using that one. There's nothing wrong with it. I use it for all my hikes still. But highly, Steven, I'd recommend over a puffy after the winter, after the cold weather. Uh, synthetic hoodie. Taylor, I am using a program called OBS. Just Google it and download. And then if you have any other questions, I'll be happy to help you out, especially if you're willing to show me around New Hampshire. Yeah, Steven. So there you go. All right. So DJI, and I'm looking at this thing right now. DJI has a wireless recorder that plugs in USB to your phone that acts as a microphone. It's supposed to last for 14 hours, 7 hours recording. So that's typically a full day of hiking. Charge it at night. Yeah, and Power Director, like we said, going back to vlogging, cheap for the year. I'd recommend KindMaster, but they raised their prices. I know that comment's coming up right here from Riff Outdoors. I would recommend them before the price the price raise, but probably not at the cost that they're going. All right, have I thought about Sobo PCT through hike to avoid the fires? I have, but I really am kind of set on leaving in March, and if I went Sobo, I'd have to leave in like June. Um, I think. To be honest, I haven't done a lot of research, but I just feel like the fires are gonna get me either way. So I'd rather leave early. I don't know. Nope, there's something about going Nobo too. It's just I don't know. All right, let's see. Hi, Lewis. Thanks for joining. Yes, he survived. Spaghyver gut hooks. It's gut hooks. Come on. Allegheny 100. Huh. No, I have not. I'll check into that though. All right, we are nearing the bottom. Yeah, see, App Gear Company, Alpaca. You know who else makes one of these too? Palante. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they make one that's pretty close as well. Uh, hey, TD's here. Dandelion is someone I met up in New York, I believe, who did the trail last year. Um, is the Melanzana as warm as the ones that didn't get a trail beating? Yeah, I mean it's synthetic, it's not compressed. So, man, I had it out with a short sleeve shirt, and then over top of that, I had the hoodie, and I'm good down hiking in the high 20s without any additional stuff. When I stop, it gets a little cold in the 20s, but it's like literally the perfect hoodie, unfortunately. And I say unfortunately is because just make made to order or custom order stuff like every other vendor out there. Like I get that you're popular. I get that you're probably a hipster Melanzana, but oh my God, just make the damn hoodie available for everybody so people stop asking me what my blue hoodie is, for goodness sakes. Anyway, off topic. Thanks, Bonneville Bagger. I'm like literally ready to pull the trigger. I was hoping like I need a new camera this year. In fact, I just sold the camcorder, so I got some money left over for a new camera. I was looking at the Action 3, then I realized the shots are going to look like crap. But the Pocket 3 is supposed to come out in April, and that's supposed to have like a 1-inch sensor. So if it does, that's what I'll be going with. But I'm glad to hear that you're liking the DJI wireless. It's good to hear people that actually use it. If you're going to do your AT through hike again, what areas of the hike would you enjoy differently? Uh, See, I thought I had the perfect hike. I wouldn't change a darn thing about it, to be honest with you. Just take your time, go as fast or as slow as you want, however you're feeling. Do that. Just don't regret anything. If you start the PC to November, are you worried that there will be too much snow left by the time you get there? That's always in the back of my mind, but you know, I can always wait it out in Kennedy Meadows. You have the snow reports, you have the water reports. There's a lot of information available to you about the PCT's dangerous areas, and you know, I have the money set aside now for a 6-month hike. Whether it's going to take me that long, I'd like to do it in 4 again, but we'll see. All right. All right, 2 more questions and then we'll call it a night. Actually, we'll just wrap up at 9:30. Have you ever tried the Zplex? There's a new tent. Zpacks duplex tent. We bought one last year to test our future long hikes. It's a good ultralight tent. No, I'm more in the small footprint. In fact, if you look right over there, that is the new Plex Solo that you guys will be seeing as soon as I can film it without sinking into my yard 3 feet because it's super muddy and snowy out there right now. But I think that's going to be my tent. Um, they've actually made a lot of changes to this tent that they didn't say anything about, and I'm really happy they did because they fixed some of the minor issues that I was kind of annoyed about, but they didn't put that on the website. So just I'll show you guys that in a couple weeks. Oh boy, I knew this was coming up. Did you see any Wendigos or hear anything scary? Nah, never seen anything. It's all a bunch of hocus pocus. All right. I have so much footage, I need an external hard drive at that point. Yep, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna carry an external hard drive with me. That way, I'd really love to make a another documentary. Like I did the Journey of the Soul. I'm sure some of you have seen that. That thing has 1.3 million views on it. It's like my most successful video. Now, I did spend the most time on that, but the thing was, I had the original clips that I uploaded to YouTube because I was sending them to my wife, my now wife, but they had music in them. So I was trying to put all these clips together with the original music, and I had to make it a certain way to put the video together. And it didn't come out 100% the way I wanted it to. So I'm gonna store all the original footage from the PCT hikes, put it on a giant freaking portable hard drive, like one of those tough hard drives that are like splash proof, and then we'll make something amazing when I get back. I'll still be vlogging though. Would I choose the Z Pax Duplex or the Nemo Hornet? Eh, Nemo makes some good products, and it's a lot cheaper than the Z Packs. But the Duplex is tried and true. I don't know. It's a hard one, man. You got to do whatever you feel. Um, I feel like Z-Packs has the duplex issues figured out. They've been making that tent for such a long time. Like that's like one of the standard tents out on the trail these days. But it's really expensive. All right. Do I like the Z-Packs tent or does condensation bother you? So I realized that no matter what, you're going to get condensation in any tent, especially with one door. And I prefer the one door over the condensation because they have a good condensation drain, especially in this one compared to the Plexamid with the goofy, I don't know what they were trying to do, that roof thing. I feel like condensation built up on there and dripped straight down rather than doing what they wanted to about it running off to the sides. So I'm really looking forward to using that tent this year, the Plex Solo, to see how we do. So I'll keep you updated. Don't worry. All right. Any last questions? Blah blah dun dun dun. All right. We did it, guys. 9:30. Wow, you guys listened to me for an hour and a half. Why? All right. Anyway, thanks for everything in the chat, guys, tonight. I'll cut the questions off there. But if you have any additional topics, leave them in the comments. I'll be perusing the comments tomorrow. You'll be able to watch this after the fact in about 15 minutes for anybody that missed the beginning, or you just want to watch it again for any info. And again, 2023 AT through hikers, good luck. Take your time. Push yourself out of your comfort zone. Be safe, but push yourself out of your comfort zone. You're gonna have a great time. It's amazing. Don't worry about anything. It's just walking in the woods. That's it. All right, guys. Thank you so much. You have a good night, and I'll see you on the trail, everybody.